1, 2, 3, 4.
I sat there while you pled your case for confidence and secrets to be erased.
I was riddled by your words.
I bet that you could hardly wait to send the cavalry for me, your subtlety.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening. You know what? This is like an episode 6 or 7 in, so if you don't know what you're listening to or what my name is by now, then shame on you. But thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. Hope you are doing well. If you want to contact me, you can email me at daddydiatriber@gmail.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at JeremiahJM if you want, where periodically I'll tweet out about parenting, but usually it's a lot of other things related to my life. But some people like getting personal and getting to know the thoughts behind the man behind the microphone. Not that many do, really. Maybe just want to listen for 5 minutes. Okay, we should talk about something today. Let's see, there's things to talk about. Oh, let me tell you. That sounded like I was being really fake there, but I wasn't. I'm not a good enough actor to do that. Let me tell you something that you will find pleasant, helpful, relieving, music to your ears, and just like a weight's been taken off your back as a parent. And it's also a total lie. Kids are hardwired biologically and genetically, and just the way that God made them. They are hardwired to do what other people tell them. Be nice, wouldn't it? Be nice. But one thing that I learned from parents long before ever becoming a parent, it is an insight that I believe is really helpful when actually applied, and it's one many parents have. I've had a lot of conversations with parents over the years. Most of my friends have parents. And one thing many of them say, or some variation of, is that kids will do what you do and not what you say. That's tough. That's really difficult compared to just using words to tell people what to do and how to behave. Talk is cheap. Look at that. That's such a good line. It could even become a cliche someday. The truth is, the difficult truth, but we should always deal with the truth, because dealing with a lie doesn't help anyone except Satan himself. We don't need to get into that. Sorry, this is what happens when I record 2 in a row. I get really distracted. The truth is, kids are hardwired to imitate. The truth is that people are hardwired to imitate other people. And the number one way that kids learn to behave, that they learn to talk, that they learn to think, that they learn to laugh, to smile, what's funny, what's not, what's good, what's bad, is by watching the people that they are around most. That is probably you. I hope it's you. I hope you are the most influential person around your kids. But what this means is that you got to get your shit together, and I got to get my shit together. And that's really hard. I know right now I'm only dealing with a baby, so I think for some it feels like, well, he's just a baby, so it's not that big of a deal. He's not going to imitate that much of what you do right now. But that's only partially true. He imitates a lot of what I do already, and they learn really early. And he's trying mentally, with his body to imitate more of what I do. And it's never too early to try to be the type of person that you want your kid to grow up to be, to use the tone of voice you want your kid to use, to act in ways you want your kids to act, to talk about other people the way you want your kid to talk about other people, to look at the world the way you want your kid to look at the world. This list could go on forever, so let's cut it short. And it's really hard to keep track of your own behavior, and really important to keep track of your own behavior around your kids. So the earlier that we start, the easier it will be as our kids get older, and we can help ensure that what they are learning by imitating is good, is what we want them to learn. And this is not just for kids. Let's be clear. Most adults don't become the way people tell them to become. They often become like the people around them, and they act like those they look up to you in some way and want to copy, which it can be good and it can be absolutely horrific. Certainly, all these things should be analyzed logically in light of what is true and what is actually good, to see if the imitation is having a positive or a negative effect. I'm digressing, but I want to say this leading by example, teaching kids by being authentic with them and being the person that you would like them to be toward others and toward you. This is a really dignified way to teach people. It's very respectful because it respects the way they learn. I mean, they're hardwired to learn that way, but we have learned to teach in a totally opposite and unhelpful way. And it respects them because it requires that we don't have expectations of them that we don't have of ourselves. And we don't think that they should behave in a way that we are exempt from, because we are teaching them by modeling. So it actually allows us to have integrity when we do have conversations with our kids. I'm not suggesting don't use words. Conversations are very helpful and an important thing to have frequently. Obviously, I'm talking on a podcast, and it's sort of a conversation because someone's listening. But it's really important to meet our kids where we're at. I think that you'll find that's a common theme for me in my life and in this podcast, because I think kids are one of the most disrespected groups of people in the world right now. And they're ones that are treated with a large amount of hypocrisy and a lack of integrity. And leading by example is one very important way that parents and other adults can teach kids to act in ways that are actually helpful and will be transformative. All right. Thank you. Peace.
You ever catch yourself just thinking of a way to get out? It's like a reflex motion.